want to share with you a quick story. And this is a story about a small kid who went to a convent school. And he had this whole thing that really, really excited him whenever he went on stage. So it used to really give him a lot of happiness, a lot of excitement. Maybe it was the people who sat in the audience and this person, this small kid, was on stage. Maybe it was the need of appreciation. Maybe it was the need of recognition. This kid was all of 7, 8 years. He didn't really know what it was. But all he knew was that he was very, very happy and very excited being on stage. So he started registering for public speaking, would go on stage, be part of the dramatics club of the school, and participate in all of that. The first time he went on stage, this young little kid turned absolutely cold, right? Cold as if he had 104, 105 degrees fever. And his teachers would say, okay, why aren't you saying something? Maybe just recite a poem or share a story or say something. But this guy would just freeze. And every time he would come back down, he would be subject to the ridicule of all the students who would laugh and say, oh, haan, karna to bahut kuch chahta hai, but kar kuch pata nahi. He would come back home. He would share this with his father and mother to say, I love doing this. This is my passion, but I don't know why I'm significantly struggling. Tough life, a lot of the whole ridicule, the whole mocking, all of that got to him so bad that a year later he started stammering and significantly stammering. And this is the point I wanted to highlight as first milestone of the story, that when someone is not as good as you, or someone is not good at what he or she wants to do, if you can't help, please don't ridicule. Please don't make fun. Please don't mock at, because you may move on in your life, but you don't know what you've done to that individual or how you've damaged that individual. Fast forwarding the story, this kid obviously used to stammer, kept stammering, would go cold on stage, but still kept going on stage, kept listening to the mocking, the ridicule, participated in drama, passed out from school, went to college, tried being a compere, tried being an MC at events, tried to overcome his stammering because he realized the only way to get better at it was to practice and practice and practice. Fast forward 2 decades later, 1.5, 2 decades later, this person is in front of you. I think so. I think I do a reasonably good job of communicating, of sharing my stories. But I think formative years were very, very difficult. I remember the times I used to stammer. I completely lost confidence in school. I thought I would never be able to speak. I always thought it was good to keep quiet, not to talk, just keep my ideas to myself. But I worked on it. I've stood in front of the mirror, reading out from the newspaper. I have done a lot of effort, and I'm sure, like me, each one of you do a lot of effort in all the areas you want to get brilliant at. So my only 2 things as part of the story as takeaways are: 1, if you can't help someone, don't harm them. And number 2, there is nothing in this world, I'll repeat, there is nothing in this world that you can't overcome. If I could get rid of my stammering, you can get rid of anything that is holding you back as a barrier today, because every setback has a comeback. Thank you so much.
That was really, really motivating, very sort of uplifting.
Actually, that what you said, Sahil, is so important for people like us who are actually helping students to grow. And we have to be so very careful that we don't demotivate them or criticize them and kill their initiative. We have to make sure that they understand that that there is a way that they can overcome whatever problems they have.
Right.
Now I have a million comments to share with you. One is Dr. Kumar says hello to you.
Please do convey my regards as well.
Yes. And the other is that, that question about the millennials, it was about, do the millennials want to taste the lifestyle of Generation X?
Sure. So, Brita, I'll try and answer that question very quickly, but I'll have to then just jump off this webinar because I have something else lined up, as I had mentioned to you. But yes, of course, I think millennials have this sense of entitlement. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Being a millennial myself, I think entitlement is good to have, but entitlement needs to be earned. If you're not going to earn it and you're going to expect it's going to come on a platter to you, forget it. It's not going to happen. If you're going to have an ecosystem that's going to not enable you, voice your thoughts, go out there, ask for it, but ask only after you deserve, and deserve only when you earn it. Those are my limited thoughts there.
Nirupa, I think Sahil would like to leave. Is there any-
I'm sorry, but I have another webinar I need to jump on to, but I think this was brilliant. Yeah, you guys were fantastic. And if there are any questions, as I said last time as well, this is just a quick catch-up session, but I'm available on LinkedIn. Just feel free to punch in a question. I'll be happy to respond because I don't like to leave any question unanswered. So if there's any question that is still not answered, feel free to drop in a line on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to respond and connect with you offline. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and goodbye.
Goodbye. And dear audience, please stay tuned for all our future webinar series. And for now, we take leave. Bye-bye. Thank you, Preeta. Thank you, our audience. Thank you, Sahil, for this wonderful time together.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.